Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaylin, and today's workout is going to be perfect for you if you have tight hips, which I think many of us do suffer from. So whether you are sitting a lot during the day at a desk in a car, or just don't necessarily stretch as much after a workout or a routine as much as you should, today we're going to loosen up those hips, get some really nice exercises, and release some of that tension down there. So we need a couple things for today. We need a block and a strap. So a block, if you have one, go ahead and grab that. If you don't have a block, go ahead and grab a book, something thick, something about as big as the block itself and a little bit higher, so not something too thin. And then for your strap, you can do a stretchy band, you can do a yoga strap, or you could just use a regular belt too. Those all work just fine. So I'm gonna bring some of these off to the side and keep yours handy so that they're ready to be used when we need them. So I'm gonna put mine right over here. All right, we're gonna start in an all fours position. So go ahead and come onto your hands and your knees. And we're gonna start just by moving through some cat and cow. So shoulders are right over those wrists and knees are right under the hips. We'll take that inhale as we drop the belly, lift the chest, and exhale, round the spine. Good, inhale through center, and exhale to round. Good, let's do two more, inhale. Exhale, dropping the head, lifting the belly, tucking that tailbone under. Last one, inhale. And exhale. We're going to start to move the hips in a circle now. So just do what feels good. I want you to see if you can find a nice circular motion, left, right, up, down, with those hips. The upper body will move a little bit as well. That should feel really good in your hips and in your spine, probably in your lower back too. And then go ahead and reverse the direction of those circles. So our hips tend to hold a lot of tightness, a lot of tension, a lot of times in the hip flexors, a lot of times in the sides of the hips. So we're really going to get into a lot of those spots here today. All right, so now go ahead and keep your back nice and flat, and we're going to take our left leg and we're going to bring it out to the side, lifting it up, and then we're going to go ahead and bring it forward into a lunge. So we're going to alternate here with legs. So we're going to bring it forward into a lunge forward a little bit to get that nice hip flexor stretch, and then go ahead and circle that leg back next to your other leg. Switch to your other side, right leg lifts, and then we bring it forward by that right hand, lunge for that hip flexor. Good, and then bring it back next to the other knee. Good, keep alternating here. Try to get that circle in that leg when you bring that leg forward and back. Good, and back. Good, let's do one more each side, and then we're just gonna hold the hip flexor stretch after we do this set. Good, last one. Good, and bring it back. Go ahead and bring that left foot forward. You may want to come up onto your fingertips here, slide the shoulders down, lengthen through your spine, and really make sure you're engaging your glutes, pressing your hips forward, and then lifting up through your belly. That'll give you this nice opening right there in the front of your hip flexor. Good, deep breath in here. And then we're going to go ahead and take that leg, swing it back around, and switch to the other side. So right leg forward. Again, you can come onto those fingertips, engage your glutes, lift up that belly. Good, deep breath in here. And then go ahead and swing that leg all the way back around. All right, let's go ahead and flip ourselves over onto our backs now. And we're gonna find some, a little supine twist. So we're gonna go ahead and draw your right leg into your chest, extend that left leg nice and long, and then bring that right leg across the body, holding on to that right knee with the left hand, and you can look over your right shoulder. This is just a really nice way to loosen and open up that lower back. and also get into that glute as well. Sometimes hip tightness can be related to some low back tightness and some glute tightness too. So as we all know in the body, everything is connected. So when we can kind of loosen up that whole area, that will help those hips. So go ahead and switch legs. Bring it across the body, looking over that left shoulder. Now right hand on top of that left knee. Try to keep your shoulders grounded onto the floor. Good, one more breath. And then go ahead and bring it back to center. Place both feet on the mat with your knees up towards the ceiling. We're gonna do what's called pelvic clocking. So you're imagining that your pelvis is like the face of a clock. And we're gonna move it into a circle. So we're gonna go ahead and tip the pubic bone up towards the ceiling, drop the right hip down, and then we're gonna bring the pubic bone towards the floor, over to the left, and then back up to the ceiling. So you're drawing a circle on the back of that pelvis by just moving that pelvis, a little bit of that spine, a little bit of that lower back. We're trying to keep the legs pretty steady here. And this again is just loosening up all those little muscles there. And then go ahead and reverse it. This one can take some time to get used to if it's something you haven't done before. Again, just imagine the back of your pelvis is that circle, and we're trying to draw that circle on the floor. Do one more in this direction. Good. All right, now press your arms into the floor. Take a deep breath in. We're gonna go ahead and find some bridging. So we're gonna exhale. We're gonna peel the spine off one bone at a time as we start to roll that spine all the way up into bridge. So already you should feel here, our glutes are engaged, front of the hips are nice and open. And then we're gonna reverse it back down, bone by bone. Try to keep all four corners of your feet pressing into the floor. So we can sometimes tend to roll out to the sides of the feet and turn the knees out. I want you to keep everything in that parallel position, and then go ahead and roll it back down. Good, do two more just like that. And last one, I want you to roll up. I want you to hold yourself lifted here. We're gonna do some circles here with the hips. So I want you to drop your right hip down. It's not gonna touch the floor. It should come about halfway, so you're at an angle. And then you're gonna kind of swoop the hips down and then up to the right so that your left hip is dropped. And then you're gonna lift back into that bridge. And you can continue to find that circular motion here with the hips. Trying to make some nice big circles. Now we're coming out of that neutral spine, neutral pelvis when we're finding these. Now go ahead and reverse your circle. So whatever direction you were going, go ahead and go the other way. Good, two more here. And last one, and lift. Good, coming back to that nice parallel, even stance. And then we're gonna go ahead and roll the spine all the way down. All right, so I want you to grab your strap now, or your belt, or your stretchy band. Place it around the bottom of your right foot. So we're gonna get a quick hamstring stretch here. You can keep your left foot down. Go ahead and choke up on your band so you get a decent bit of tension. And if you can, bring your elbows to the floor. Go ahead and do that. Reach through your heel. This is going to be a really nice stretch for the back of the legs and the hamstrings. We're going to do a little bit of work with the legs in a long position. So I want to just start to stretch it out here a little bit. So you should feel that even in your calf all the way down the back of the leg into that hamstring. Try to keep your bum on the ground so that it's not lifting up. Good, one more breath here. And then we're gonna switch legs. So go ahead and bring your left foot into the strap, right foot will come to the floor. And then we reach that left heel now up towards the ceiling, finding that length. Try to relax through your upper body and your shoulders. Good, one more breath. Try to pull that leg a little closer towards that upper body. And then go ahead and release the strap, bring the foot down. All right, we're gonna do single straight leg stretch here. So this is an abdominal exercise, but it's gonna help to lengthen the back of those hamstrings a little bit more. So I want you to go ahead and bring the legs to tabletop. And you're gonna come into an abdominal curl. Straighten both legs. Your right leg will come up towards the ceiling. Left leg reaches away, and your hands are behind your right leg. And you're pulsing it towards you, so it's a pulse, pulse, switch, pulse, pulse, switch. And kind of make this nice and controlled, because I really want you to focus on the length in the back of that leg that's pulling towards you. You may even want to flex that ankle as it pulls in. Good. 2 more each side. Shoulders down. Good, last set. Good, and then bend the knees in and lower yourself all the way down. Now I want you to grab your block or your book, and you're gonna take it and place your hips right on top of it. So you wanna make sure that the back of your pelvis is on there, not necessarily your lower back, okay? So sometimes people tend to put it a little bit too high. So really make sure it's your pelvis that's grounded on there. And we're gonna do some exercises for hip mobility. So I want you to bring the legs up to tabletop first. Press your arms into the floor. The back of your ribs are still trying to pull down and staying connected to the mat. We're gonna reach your legs up towards the ceiling. Now, we're gonna lower both legs away. You're gonna feel your abdominals, so keep them engaged. Exhale, I want you to bring them back up. Good, inhale, reach. And exhale, lift. Good, inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Good, we have just 3 more here. 3. Last 2. Again, you should be feeling your abs here. Last 1. Good, and then bring it all the way in. Now bend your knees. We're gonna move into bicycles. So this one is a moving exercise. Each leg is gonna be doing something a little bit different. So we're gonna bend the right leg into the chest, extend the left leg to the ceiling. You're gonna reach that left leg away, then straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, pull it in. And you continue that bicycle motion. So again, these exercises here are great for hip mobility. We're gonna get some nice turned out position here as well. Really good for the hips. That's coming up next. But the whole time we're keeping that core nice and stable. Good, now hold here. We're gonna reverse those circles. So right leg will come up towards you, that straight leg, as we kick the left leg away, and then we bend the right knee and send it away. So this is one of those ones that's a little hard to get used to at first. But once you've done it a few times, it kind of comes naturally. Good. 3, 2, and last 1. Nice. And then go ahead and bring the legs in. All right, we're gonna extend the legs up towards the ceiling now. We're gonna do a nice adductor inner thigh stretch. So we're gonna take those feet, flex through those ankles. We're gonna open the legs to a wide V. You're in a slightly turned out position, nice stretch in the inner thighs, and then go ahead and bring the legs back together. Let's do that again. Wide V opens. Good, and then bring it back together. Good, open and center. Good, open, center. Last one, bring it open. Good, and back to center. Okay, now we're gonna do some large circles here. So we're gonna get a little bit more rotation in the hip sockets. We're gonna open those legs into that V, start to draw them down and together, and then lift them back up. Again, you'll feel your core here quite a bit. So we open, draw down, together, and lift. Good, open, reach away, and lift. 2 more times this direction. And last one, open, reach. Good, and up. Let's go ahead and reverse it. So we reach those legs away, keep that core engaged, open the legs as they come back up and into center. Inhale, reach. Good, exhale, open and center. Good, 2 more. Last one. Good, now bend those knees in. I want you to go ahead and butterfly the legs. I want you to bring those knees nice and wide. Have the soles of your feet together. Grab onto your feet with your hands and pull the feet in towards you as you try to open the knees away from the body. So this position is a little bit more accessible here with the hips lifted because you can get the legs a little bit higher. So if your hips are really tight, hopefully you're able to access this a little bit easier here. Good. All right, pull that right knee into the chest now. Send the left leg to the floor. This is a really nice way to loosen or release and open up the front of the hip flexor and the quad even, and your psoas as well, connecting a little bit higher up. So you want to feel as you're pulling the right leg in, you're dropping the ribs down, and just that release of that left leg to the floor, you should feel that opening stretch there. Take one more breath here. And let's go ahead and switch it to the other side. So right leg's gonna extend, left leg pulls in. You might even feel a good stretch on the back of the glute of the leg that's pulling in. It's one of my favorite stretches that I do with my online clients. We use our props quite a bit in those workouts. All right, so go ahead and bring your feet to the floor, lift your hips. You're in that bridge position, take the block out, and you're gonna roll the spine all the way back down. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest, and then either roll to the side to sit up or go ahead and rock yourself up to a seated position. All right, we have some more great hip opening exercises coming up. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'll meet you right back here for the rest of class. Let's grab your block again. This time we're gonna sit on it to access hopefully an easier way to get into this stretch. So we're gonna do a single leg adductor stretch, so getting into that inner thigh again. So you're gonna have a single leg bent. I have my left knee bent and my right leg out to the side. And when you're sitting on top of your block like this, it's a little bit easier to get into this position if your hips are really tight. So hopefully that block or book helps. So what I want you to do here is now sit up nice and tall, and then I want you to lean forward until you really feel that inner thigh stretch of that right leg. Maybe the forearms come to the mat, maybe they don't quite get there, maybe stay on your fingertips, that's okay. I want you to make sure you're not tipping too far forward on the front of that block. So really try to keep the block grounded and your hips grounded as you lean forward. Relax your shoulders, your jaw. Good, and then slowly walk your hands back up to center. And then we're gonna turn to face your right leg, or whichever leg is long. And then you're gonna come over that leg here. So we're gonna have one hand on either side. Maybe you grab onto the foot if you can, or the lower part of the leg. And so you're finding a little rotation in the upper body as you find that fold over the leg. Let your head drop. Probably feel this in that lower back on the opposite side as well. It should be a really, really good stretch. Good, one more breath. And then go ahead and walk it up to seated or walk it up to a tall spine. And we're gonna go ahead and switch sides. So take that opposite foot out, the other leg comes in. Good, once you're ready, go ahead and start to bring your fingers forward, and we're gonna fold forward. Again, maybe forearms, maybe fingertips, and you'll find it'll be easier probably to come down on one side more than the other. So right now with my left leg extended out, I found it easier to bring myself forward. Again, keep those hips grounded. And then go ahead and bring it back up to seated. We'll find that rotation towards that extended leg. And then we'll fold over that leg. Hopefully feel that lower back on that opposite side. Keep that leg, the foot of the long leg, keep it nice and active. So I like to flex through that ankle, and then we'll get also into more of the back of that leg, the calf, the hamstring. And then go ahead and bring it back up to center. All right, so now we're gonna do a spine stretch on the block. So this time, take your block. I'm just gonna face the side. You can stay facing forward. And you'll have your legs extended, both of them now. And you can bring them a little bit wider. So see what feels comfortable. Normally we do mat distance. Maybe come a little bit wider this time and really feel those hip opening and stretch there in the inner thighs. So we're gonna take the arms forward here, parallel with the floor. We're gonna start to peel the spine down and keep the hips grounded into the block as we reach the upper body forward. This is where you really need to make sure you aren't tipping those hips forward. And then we stack the spine back up all the way up and lift. Good, so we're gonna do chin to chest. Reach forward with that upper body. Belly pulls back. Good, and then we stack the spine up and lift. So this is a great stretch for that lower back, that lumbar spine, lumbar area, all the way up the spine as well, while we're getting this nice hip opening. Good, 2 more. Good, lift. And last one. This time, hold here in this forward fold. Bring the hands down. Now you're in a wider forward fold with both legs. Maybe you bring the legs a little farther apart. You're able to drop the forearms down here as well. Just take one breath here. And then stack your spine back up over that block. Now walk the legs a little bit closer. And we're gonna do our saw exercise. We're gonna take the arms out to a T. Stay tall with the spine as we twist, rotate to your right. Exhale, round over that right leg. Look back towards that right hand, and then come back up to center. Switch to the other side. Exhale, round forward, reach. Good, stack up and lift. Good, twist, round forward. Good, and lift. Good, and up. Let's do one more each side. Last one. Good, coming all the way up. Go ahead and bring it back to center and lower those hands all the way down. Okay, now we're gonna come off the block. We're gonna lay back down on our mats and do some large leg circles here. So I'm actually gonna have you grab your band for this one. This will give you some nice support too. So I want you to take the band onto the bottom of your right foot, extend the left leg all the way to the floor. And we're gonna have your elbows grounded into the mat here. So you can do this with your belt or your yoga strap as well. All right, so we're gonna find some movement in this right leg. That left leg is long with the ankle flex, stays nice and stable. So we're gonna take this right leg, we're gonna bring it across the body. The right hip can come off the mat. Let me circle it down towards the floor, out to the right and back up to center. So continue that movement. That's nice big circles with this leg. It should feel really, really, really good. Not only in that hip, but hopefully in your glutes. And again, that inner thigh. Let's just do one more in this direction. Good, and back up to center. Let's go ahead and reverse it. So go out to the right, circle down, around, and lift. Good, out to the right, down, around, and up. And again, you can take that right hip, bring it off as the leg comes across the body. It's gonna give you, again, that nice stretch. Let's do one more, and then we're gonna find a T-band stretch. So bring the straps into your left hand, take the right arm out to the right, and then cross that right leg over to the left side. You wanna keep it still pulling up towards you and your upper body. And that will give you this really nice stretch through the back of that glute, side hip. Let's just take one more breath here, and then we're gonna switch it to the other side. All right, let's bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and bring that left foot in your strap. Right leg now is going to extend along the floor, elbows connected to your mat, and then we're going to take it first across the body. So bring it across your body, let that left hip lift up, down, over to the left, and back to center. Good, across, down, out, and center. This also feels really good without the band, but I like the support of the band. I think you can get a little bit farther into the stretch and into the circle because the leg has that support as opposed to it moving just freely. Good. Now hold here, we're going to reverse it. Take it out to the left, down, around, across, and up. Good, out to the left, down, around, let that hip lift up, bring it back to center. Good, out, down, around, across, and lift. So even though I do these exercises, a lot of these really regularly, I have to really focus on doing them because my hips do tend to get really tight. You can go ahead and take that band off now, bring your feet to the mat. It's something that you have to continue to work on. So, you know, I do a lot of computer work as well, and it's just nice to always keep the hip area nice and free-flowing, nice and mobile, whether, again, like I said, you're seated a lot or are more active. So always good to add these exercises in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn around and come onto our belly. So you're gonna go ahead and lower yourself all the way down. And we're gonna start with a little quad stretch first. You're gonna take your right hand, you can bring it on the floor and make a pillow for your forehead with that hand, and then grab your left foot with your left hand. That might be really hard for some of you. Maybe you need your strap in order to do that. Maybe you need to lift up a little bit to grab it. Once you have it in your hand or in your strap, I want you to keep your knees pressing together. So legs are nice and close, inner thighs. And then keep your hips pressing down into the floor. So when you do that, you should really feel that quad open, the front of that hip open. Good, one more breath here, and then we're gonna switch. Go ahead and release that leg nice and slow, and then we'll bring it over to the other side. So right hand onto that foot, again, knees together. Hips pressing down, so it's really an active motion of pressing those hips down and then holding the glutes engaged as the hips press down. So it's definitely an active stretch. We're not just kind of hanging out. If we let it all go, we're not going to get into that opening quite as deep if we're not finding that glute engagement. Good, last breath, and then slowly release that leg. Now, I want you to bring your hands underneath your underneath your shoulders. Legs are straight back behind you, maybe about hip distance apart. Slide the shoulders down and back. Elbows stay narrow towards the rib cage. And we're going to press into those hands and coming up just a little bit off your mat. So this is our swan. This is a great still hip opener and front body opener. And then lower all the way down. Good, continue this. So as you know, right, everything's connected. So we want to focus on opening this whole front body. We don't want to just focus on just the hips. But if we're tight in our, in our core, in our psoas, in our shoulders, in our chest and pecs, it's all connected, right? So we want to try to open this whole front portion of the body in order to open up those hips even more. So let's do one more lift here. Good, shoulders down, crown of the neck is long. Neck is long, crown of the head is reaching. Got my words jumbled. All right, so let's go ahead and come onto those forearms. We're going to do double leg kicks. Again, this is opening up through the front body, engaging through the back body a little bit. So pull your belly off the mat, really lift, stay connected through the upper body here, shoulders down. We flex through the left ankle, we kick that leg in towards your glute, point the leg, reach away. Flex, kick, point, reach, kick. So every time you kick in, you should feel that quad opening, front of that hip, We are using more of those hamstrings and glutes here. Good. 2 more sets. 2, 2, 1, and 1. All right, go ahead and lower yourself back down to the mat. Turn your cheek, one of your cheeks to the floor so your head is facing the side. Clasp your hands behind your back. If you can't do that, grab your strap to hold. Press the hips down, pull the belly in. We kick both legs in. 3, 2, 1. Lift, reach, lengthen. Reach your arms up and back. Reach your legs. You're lifting upper and lower body. Lower down, turn your head to the other side. Belly in, kick 3, 2, 1. Lift, reach. Good, lower down. Good, 3, 2, 1. Good, lift, reach. And lower, belly in, glutes engage. 3, 2, 1. Good, reach, open. And lower, good, 3, 2, 1. Good, reach, open. Lower. I think I had one more. I lost count. Good. Lift, reach, and open. All right. Go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders. This time, press yourself all the way back to your child's pose. So feet together, knees wide. Let that upper body release towards the floor. This is a great release for those hips too. So when we just let the hips try to sit back to the heels and not do anything, right? They're just nice and heavy. This is hard for you to get to this position. You can always grab a block and place it kind of right between the hips and the feet. If it's hard for you to sink your hips all the way down, and what this will do will still get you in this position without feeling that you're holding tightness in the hips to keep them up. So that's always an option. All right, so go ahead and roll yourself up to seated. Now we've got a couple more things we're gonna do to finish up class. So I want you to go ahead and find, if you can, a squat, a deep squat here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come facing forward and see if you can find a low squat. Maybe yours is up here, maybe it's higher, and that's perfectly fine. Right? Or maybe you sit on your block too for a little bit of stability if you can't quite get that low. So find whatever that looks like for you and just hold that. This is a great, great hip opener. You can press your elbows into your knees, draw the shoulders down. The goal is to keep your spine nice and lifted and tall. All right. So this, you can only stay in it for a few seconds, just do that and come out. All right, just one more breath here. And then we're going to shift to one leg into a lateral lunge hold. So I want you to come onto one side. I'm on my right side first. And I want you to just hold this low lunge position and feel that nice stretch in your inner thigh. Shoulders down. You might not be able to get this foot to the floor fully. That's okay. If you can, great. If not, just keep that heel lifted. Good, now come over to the other side. Same thing on that side. Try to do what you can to stay nice and balanced. If you need to bring your fingers to the floor, that's perfectly fine too. Good. All right, now we're gonna move this side to side. You might need to come up a little bit for this. So I'm gonna lift my hips a little. I want you to stay low though. So I want you to stay low as you move here side to side. This is great for those hips. You probably already feel, I'm feeling little kind of, you know, some tight spots, some little crunchies that are working their way out as you do this. Maybe you're a lot higher in your squat, that's fine. Just do what you can. I'm only gonna be here for one more set. Good. And then go ahead and come back to that deep squat hold. And see if you feel a little bit more open now. This also takes a lot of ankle mobility too. So if your ankles are kind of tight, this could be a really tough position. Just take one more breath here. All right, let's go ahead and grab your block. Go ahead and sit on it now, just like we did for that adductor stretch. And I want you to find just a nice, easy seat here. So feel how your hips feel now that we've started to, or now that we've opened them, released them a little bit. Hopefully they feel like they can open a little bit more. That is the goal. I want you to find shoulders rolling down and back, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. I want you to take your arms, we're going to reach them up towards the sky. We're going to twist, look over that right shoulder. Just find a nice, easy twist here. Good, one more deep breath here. Good, come back to center, arms lift. We switch the arms over to the other side. Lift, twist, and lengthen. Good, come back up to center, arms lift. And then we go ahead and bring those arms down. Now, last thing I want to do, go ahead and take the block out. And then come to the side. We're just gonna finish up with that lunge that we did at the beginning. So bring one knee forward, other leg will be back. So I want you to stay a little bit higher here into this lunge. So again, lengthen through that back body, engage your glutes, pressing and opening that right hip forward. Should feel really good. Take one more breath. Good, go ahead and bring that leg back. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Shoulders down. Good. And then go ahead and bring that leg back as well. Wonderful. And then go ahead and just find a nice, easy seat. That felt so good to me. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. If you are interested in a couple more videos, I'm going to link some here, one that I think would be great for you, and then I'm going to link to my last video that I uploaded before this one. And also just wanted to mention, if you're interested in helping me continue these free videos, I would love it if you got a chance to check out the link in the description below. So I am so grateful for you all and for this community, and just sending you so much love for everybody here. So thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.